Hey, what's up, guys? Want to make a video talking a little bit about my feelings on Obama being reelected for another 4 years. Um, Congratulations to anyone who voted for Obama. It's not voting in the presidency and stuff. It's not a game, but a lot of people. It's kind of like, I mean, you pick a side, you pick a person, and you want them to win. If they don't, you feel like you lost something. It's kind of like you play Monopoly and you lose, and you're like, some people lose graciously and they say, "Good game, sir. My hat off to you," and whatever. No one does that actually. You'd say like, "Oh yeah, whatever," and you'd go watch some TV or something. As opposed to the guy who looks at the board and goes, "No, no, you're wrong." And then when they finally realize they didn't lose, they flip the whole thing over, and there goes the car and the little hotels all over the living room. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to flip the board. I don't. I do care, but whatever. I'm an adult and I can focus on what's next. No sense in harping on what could have been done to change the outcome. Obviously, there's more people who want him to win than not. So it was close enough. I think it wasn't. I think he won by 3 million votes. That's a lot of people. On the grand scheme of things, it's not a big difference as far as, it wasn't like, oh, Romney had no chance or anything. But anyway, um, yeah, we got 4 more years of Obama. It raises some interesting questions as to who's going to run 4 years from now. Obviously, he's serving his second term. You're only allowed 2 terms as president, so that leaves an open seat for Democrats, as well as who knows who's going to run for the Republican side. There's actually some interesting names that I've heard. Some that are scary and some that are actually a little refreshing. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now, we got to focus on the next 4 years. All right. So, what are some things to think about? I have some predictions I'm going to make. There's a lot of talk and feeling amongst a lot of people um, that the anti-gun legislature is going to really heat up now. Obviously Obama's big thing when he first started, when no one even knew who he was, and they started hearing this name Obama. Um, it sounds so stupid. I forget he actually has a first name. It's just Obama. Anyway, Barack Obama. Um, People are freaked out that he's going to actually have change, like he promised. It's all about change. Why do presidents do this with the thing? This is like a serious. If I'm serious right now. That's just every president does that. I guess you have to. Anyway, it's just random thought I had. It's really annoying they do that with the thumb tucked in. It's just yes, I mean it. Yeah, he promised change, and we didn't see a whole lot of change. But he was new to the scene, new to be president. Obviously, took on a big issue with the country. The country wasn't doing so great when he got into office. It's kind of annoying to me personally that like if he does a good job, he's the best in the world, best president ever because he helped our society. But if he doesn't do a good job, you don't say he's the worst president ever. What people will say is, well, he inherited the worst time the country's ever had. It's kind of an excuse. I mean, that's what a lot of people say. It's like you can't people who are for, and it's not just Obama, it's for people who are for Romney too. It's just blind arguing, and you get that a lot in politics where my politician who I want to win, they can't be wrong. It's like if they do good, they're great. If they do bad, there's an excuse why. It's not just because they did bad. But something to consider too, and a lot of people, when the voting was going on, people obviously sharing their opinions, and I'm for so and so because of this issue and this issue. It's a president. It's one guy, and he doesn't make the rules, as we all know, or should know. Um, there's one issue someone had mentioned, the religious part of it. He's Mormon, and I don't want a Mormon America. Do you really think that, like, the government as a whole, the hundreds and thousands of people involved with the government, would allow a religious takeover because one guy who is president believes in that? I don't think so. There's also obviously many other agendas on both sides. Personal things that these people feel doesn't mean that's what the country's going to turn into just because They're the commander-in-chief. But anyway, let's talk guns and knives. That's what a lot of you guys are interested in. The gun thing, there'll be plenty of gun channels talking about this stuff. Obviously, you're going to see a scramble, a mad scramble to buy AKs, to buy ARs. You're going to be hard pressed to find 30-round magazines. You're going to be hard pressed to find, I mean, the high cap stuff to begin with, but that should be a given. Your drum mags, you're never going to find those anymore now. Everyone's going to buy them in a scare that they're going to be illegal or banned again. You know, a second wave of the assault weapons ban. You know, Clinton Part 2, as far as that's concerned. But I'm not concerned with gun stuff so much because I think things happen in cycles, and you might think I'm not being prepared enough. I'm not going to be one of those people that go out and try to spend money I don't have on stuff I don't need. Part of prepping and part of, I mean, really prepping, not buying an MRE and putting it in your underwear drawer and thinking you're good for the zombie apocalypse. A lot of people are doing that. That ain't going to fly. If you're really trying to prep for your future, prepare, you try to be logical. Of course, storing food and all that stuff, it's all great, and I am for it, and I do it myself. Obviously, you guys know that. You try to cover all the aspects of basic living. That's all prepping is. That's, in a nutshell, that's the definition of a prepper. Someone who is consciously trying to prepare for basic living if there is no other means to do so in society. That's pretty much it. But I think that instead of going out and spending money I don't have on 30-round magazines and buying guns, I'm going to try to save money. That's all. Who knows what's going to happen? I do know, I see trends starting. I mean, not starting, they've been going on for a long time. The price of food is just crazy. The price of gas obviously going up. The price of living, the cost of living is going up. And things are going to change. You know, he promised it 4 years ago. Well, he's got his foot in the door. He's had some practice, and I think right now he's going to really push forward with a lot of what he wanted. It's going to be good. It's going to be great for some people who really want those same things, and it's going to be bad for people who don't, obviously. And by the way, this whole little speech that I'm doing right now, it could have went either way. Because I prefer one person doesn't mean that I wanted, you know, that I'm only going to argue for one side. If Romney won, there's certainly a lot of bad to say about him too. You know, truth be told, who knows? It's the what ifs. You know, could have been the best president in the world. Could have ruined us. Who knows? It doesn't make a difference at this point. We have Obama. I'm legitimately concerned with some of his ideas. You know, as a whole. Obviously, he doesn't run the country as a dictator. He has to deal with other people. We have a very large government, and they need a collective, you know, agreement for things to change. Let's not forget, in 2009, under Obama's administration, they tried to ban. Yeah, I know you guys remember this. They tried to ban not only assisted folding knives, but one-handed folding knives. Any knife that's folding that you can open with one hand, which is like 90% of pocket knives out there, at least. I mean, specifically, you know, the border control with the importation and sales within the U.S. of assisted knives. You know, assisted knives, if you're new to the knife scene, are new to the knife scene as well. We've only had assisted knives for maybe a decade at most. I would say within the last 5 years or so is when they've been really predominant in production knives and stuff like that. But, you know, when I first started getting to knives, there's no such thing as assisted knives. Not that it makes a difference anyway, because we all know just a very basic, whether it's expensive or cheap, if you have a folding knife, you know, and it's not pinned, you have an adjustable pivot, you can easily loosen it up enough to flick it open or use gravity to open it. Does that make it a gravity knife? These are all technicalities, but everyone's going to talk about guns. Not a lot of people are going to remind everyone that Obama and his administration is against knives just as much as they are against guns. What physical outcomes will there be? What kind of actual laws will be in effect? What kind of bills will end up pushing through and being passed against knives and or guns? Who knows? Remains to be seen. But places like Knife Rights, places like the NRA, they're here to help us, you know, as a collective to get our voices out there, to have our feelings as, citizens of the United States. The knife thing to me is so ridiculous. The gun thing obviously is just as ridiculous, but the knife thing is definitely shadowed by the gun issue. 99 people are talking about guns, and there's one knife guy in the corner going, "Hey, excuse me, what about my knives? I don't even have a gun. I got knives. I don't want them taken away." Um, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I do predict that there will try to be a push within the next 4 years of some um, major bills regarding anti-gun stuff. So prepare for it. I know it's going to happen, but bills are just bills. A lot of times these stupid, ridiculous things, they get completely knocked down. They're way out there. But of course it creates a frenzy and a panic, and the gun companies aren't complaining. They're selling their stuff. They're selling these guns. They're selling accessories, magazines, ammunition sales. All that stuff goes up. I think everything comes full circle. I think it's going to be extremely hard to find these accessories and/or guns that are deemed bad by the general public, because everyone's going to buy them up. However, I don't think it's going to be anything that's permanent. In other words, like, yeah, I want the availability or option to buy a 30-round AK magazine if I happen to get another AK in the future. No, I'm not going to, like I said, spend money I don't really have right now on stocking these up just in case. If I want more in the future, who knows? Maybe I pay $20 more for it. Whatever. You'll never not have availability. All right. So there's people who are literally going to spend thousands of dollars right now. Okay. They already have. The second, they stayed up, watched the election, they're ordering online before they even went to bed. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I mean, look at the last assault weapons ban when things became illegal. Of course, fully automatic guns is a different case. That was an extreme change in price. But as far as accessories, magazines, and stuff like that, pre-ban mags, I mean, you look at them now, and it's not that much of a difference in price. I mean, it's just my opinion. But I'm not concerned with that portion of stuff. That, to me, is more hobby. I still own guns. I'm very, happy that I still have some guns in my possession. If there were some kind of freaky, messed up thing that actually passed. Something people forget all the time too, and I think I mentioned this in the past video, is how much money it would really cost to just outright ban guns. It's never going to happen. And not only that, there's too many people who are pro Second Amendment. There's too many people out there who are pro rights in general, and it's not going to fly. It can get scary sometimes, and the media, and of course the NRA, they're sending you stuff all the time trying to scare you too, because they want they want the donations, they want the memberships. Their business, they're fighting for us. I'm for the NRA, but don't forget they're a business. It is what it is. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how knife stuff changes, and I do follow Knife Rights. Just another shout out for them. A fantastic organization. You hear NRA, NRA, NRA. You never hear anything about Knife Rights. I love Gavco is also constantly pushing them, promoting them. They're a great company. Great people. They're actually nice people. Like, I've talked to them on the phone, and they're very genuine, and they give you the time of day to talk. And money well spent. Having a membership or even donating to them, absolutely. People always forget about the knife stuff. They don't think it's a big deal. Oh, knives are tools. They're not going to, no. They're trying hard to pass these just very broad limitations. And when they do something like that, that is broad. And that's the trouble with the gun stuff too, the anti-gun bills, is that they do have this broad, I mean, obviously there's teams of lawyers, wording this, but they word it in such a way that interpretation, I mean, it means so much more than it looks. It's very slick and sly and tricky. You look at it and say, oh, that's not bad. I can deal with that. Well, no, you're not seeing the whole picture here. That's also referring to this and that. And like, oh, no, I didn't know that. Of course you didn't, So be careful. It's not the end of the world. It really is not the end of the world. I have faith in the people. I didn't a long time ago, but I've grown to have faith in humanity and humankind and America. And I think we're going to be just fine. I think we're going to go through some hard times. We're going to have some lessons learned. I would suggest doing logical, sensible, real prepping. I'm not talking about building a bunker. You know, if Cheerios are on sale, get a couple extra boxes and throw them in your cabinet. Do something. That's all. Get some water filters, you know. Get a very simple plan together. Talk to your neighbors who you like. Talk to people. You know, networking is the most important thing. I do what I can, but I'm limited in funds. I can't go out and buy everything I want. But I have I feel fortunate that I have a gun club that's not too far from me, and actually a guy who lives within 5 miles of me who is um, a serious prepper, and we're friends, and I'm on his good side. In fact, I might make videos in the future, some general stuff, but he's a really nice guy, and I know in a time of real need, some serious, it's official, I need some help. I know I can go to him, and if he wouldn't just outright just help me out, because I feel like he would, I can definitely barter with him. I know what's available to me in my area. Network, talk to people. You know, when you're on these forums and you're going, yeah, I just bought 50 cases of water. Oh, cool, I just got, 5,000 pounds of peas. Where are you? Where are these people? Let's get a plan just in case, you know? Give me some water, give me some peas. Anyway, that's it. At this point, I'm just rambling. He's not all bad. And I don't think every president has their good and their bad, obviously. And every person has what they want in their president. I think sometimes people just get blinded by the idea that if a president wants something one way, it's going to happen. Presidents constantly pitch ideas, and people will go, hey, they smack them around and say, what are you thinking? And sometimes they'll agree, and then it goes to someone else down the line. And they go, nope, and they rip it up. It's a system, and you can't put all your faith into one person, because that one person is more or less just a mascot for us. Of course, I'm not belittling the president's position, because the president obviously is the highest office in the United States. But just don't forget what it really means, and he's got a whole panel of people telling him what to do, and he consults people. He can't just walk out in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and say, that's it, taxes. Everyone's taxes are going up today. It just doesn't work that way, But don't lose faith in our country. Don't lose faith in your neighbor and your family, the people of the United States. I think we'll always be fine. We'll go through some crappy times. We'll go through some great times. We'll beat people up around the world. Then we'll get beat up a little bit. It's just the world goes round. Everything's in cycles. There may be some dark days ahead, but you got to look for the light, because it will always follow. But you have to want it. Don't be depressed. That's stupid. I'm fine. I still have my house. Things will change. I mentioned in a comment, this is going to cost me money. I'm not going to get into a bunch of details, but I replied in that comment if you're interested. But yes, Obama winning is literally going to cost me more money every single month. But you deal with it. You get bills, you pay them, you figure things out. I'm getting another job, which is great. And that's all. You move on with life. But I know a lot of people are just bummed. They're like, oh my God. And it is doom and gloom for a lot of people, because they take it very personally. And although I think it's very important, you got to be upbeat. Everything in life. You got to push forward. You got to smile and say, oh, I don't like this, but still smile and get through your day and find happiness, whatever that means to you. So good luck, America. We're going to pull through. We'll be just fine. We always are. That's just my opinion. But for the rest of you people all around the world, just tuning in, seeing what's going on here in the U.S. Some people understand it better than people who live in the U.S., and other people don't understand it at all. Regardless, we'll always be around. Like I said, we'll have good days and bad days, but we'll be here to talk about it. So, good luck, America. I'm pulling for us. Hope you guys do too. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.